Hi, I'm Rebecca from Pup Starts Breeders, and I wanted to take a few moments to explain to you in person why I am so passionate about dog breeder support and education. I've always worked with dogs, and early on in my career, in my early 20s, I, for a period of time, was acting animal warden in a London borough. And there were some, absolutely fabulous times I could tell you about the job that I did and some really heartwarming stories. But ultimately, I left my job because there was one element of it that I found truly heartbreaking. I was the person that had to take the dogs down to the vets on a Friday evening when their 7 days in kennels had run out and the council had run out of budget to pay for them anymore, and their previous owners didn't want them anymore. Nobody knew who their breeder was, and these dogs had run out of options, and their only option was euthanasia. We did everything that we could to find them homes. We rehomed them privately. We tried to get them into various breed rescues and rescue centres that we worked alongside. But ultimately, there were always the few that we couldn't do anything for. And it is truly heartbreaking to be the person that is walking into the vets with a dog that is otherwise fit and healthy and is just not wanted. A dog that's probably developed some behavioural issues that can't be solved, or going to be a little bit difficult to be solved, or legally speaking, if you rehome it, you're on dodgy ground. And it is heartbreaking. If you've ever been that person or you've ever been in that position, it is just one of the most difficult things as an animal lover to do. So naturally you start thinking, why is this happening? Why are we in this position? Why are there so many dogs that are in this negative cycle? Where does it start? And I started to read and I started to research and I started to take note of what was going on and where these dogs were coming from, what breeds they were, what type of homes they'd come from, where they'd been bred. And I really got myself around to thinking that actually this starts before they're even born. This starts with two dogs that probably should never have been mated together in the first place, that were not healthy or not temperamentally sound, born to a breeder who wasn't passionate about breeding and wasn't passionate about education and knowing how to do it in the best way possible. Possibly a breeder that had didn't even have any vision or a mission statement about what they were breeding and why they were breeding it. And then these puppies were probably left to pretty much raise themselves, and the breeders fed them and cuddled them maybe, but didn't necessarily give them the things that they needed at the right times to ensure that their socialisation and development was robust enough to then see them through the turmoil of going to a new home and having to find their way through a human world when actually they're dogs. So those puppies are then not supported in their new homes, having not been bred or raised properly, and they start to develop behavioural problems, and then they end up ultimately in rescue and nobody wants them. And that's the path that I saw time and time and time again. And I've decided that actually I could put my skills to better use in terms of my knowledge and my experience. I've worked with dogs all of my life in one way or another. I've been a breeder myself for 16 years. I breed dogs that are fit for purpose. I breed family pets that can go on and be super additions to people's families. They're raised with thought. They're raised with science. They're even to the point where their parents are health and temperament tested. We cover all bases, and I want to be able to impart that knowledge onto other breeders, because I think it is the way forward. Changing the tide of the rescue problem that we have in the UK, changing the tide of unwanted dogs. The only way that that's going to happen is through breeder education and breeder support, and I am willing to be that person. I want to be that person. So I've written courses and I have structured support programs and packages that you can access, so that you get the opportunity to be the best breeders that you can be, so that you get the opportunity of my knowledge. So you don't have to go wrong where I went wrong, because we all do, we're only human. And I found it super difficult because there wasn't anybody that I could rely on. When I first started breeding, there were no Facebook groups for information. There were no mentors in the UK that you could access. It was like the blind leading the blind. My bitch had never had a litter of puppies before, and I had never whelped a bitch before. So, it's like going to have your first baby, and the midwife's never done it before. You'd be petrified. So I've compiled these courses and I've compiled the support packages so that you guys don't have to make the mistakes I saw made so commonly when I was in my job role in London all those years ago, and so that you guys don't have to go through your breeder journey alone. We're here to support you. That's what Pup Starts Breeders stands for. Our motto is their paws in your hands. And if you just think about that for a little second, I'm sure you'll see where we're coming from, and I'm sure you'll be able to feel our passion that we'd like to share with you. So welcome to our website. If you have any questions or queries or anything that you would like to know about, please do not hesitate to drop us an email. I'll be more than happy to have a chat to you and help you on your journey. Thanks for taking the time to watch.